Ever wondered why some people seem to get things done effortlessly while others struggle? It's as though some individuals have been gifted with a special power, a knack for action that propels them towards their ambitions. They seem to glide through life, ticking off tasks and achieving goals as if it were as natural as breathing. But let's make something clear. This isn't a trait exclusive to a select few. It's not some mystical talent bestowed upon the chosen ones. No, this ability to act, to do what needs to be done, is a habit that can be cultivated. Action, you see, is the lifeblood of progress. It's the engine that drives us forward, the force that turns dreams into reality. Without action, our ambitions remain mere fantasies and our goals, distant dreams. To act is to take control, to seize the reins of your life and steer it towards your desired destination. But how do some people make it seem so effortless? Well, the answer might surprise you. It's not about the absence of obstacles, but the presence of determination. It's about understanding that action is not just about moving, it's about moving with purpose. It's about recognizing that every task, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is a step towards something bigger. It's about knowing that every action, every decision, every moment matters. This understanding is what separates those who get things done from those who merely dream. Those who act know that it's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. It's about seizing the moment, making the most of now, and doing what needs to be done. So if you find yourself stuck in a rut, remember this: action is a choice. It's the decision to take control, to make a move, to do what needs to be done. And this choice, once made, becomes a habit that once cultivated becomes a way of life. Doing what needs to be done isn't a mystery, it's a choice. Have you ever watched a marathon runner pushing through pain and fatigue to cross the finish line? This is not just a test of physical endurance, but a testament to the power of discipline. The runner's journey begins long before the race, with countless hours of training, strict dieting, and a steadfast commitment to a goal. This is discipline in its purest form. Discipline is the act of training oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way. It's about consistency, staying true to your course, even when the path gets tough. It's about choosing what you want most over what you want now. Imagine the marathon runner again. They don't just wake up one day and decide to run 26 miles. They start small, maybe running just a few miles a day, but they stick with it day after day, gradually increasing the distance. They endure the aches, the early mornings, the drudgery of training, because they are disciplined. They understand that reaching their goal requires sacrifice and commitment. But discipline extends far beyond the realm of athletic pursuits. It applies to every facet of our lives. Let's take learning a new skill, for instance. You don't become proficient overnight. It takes practice, patience, and yes, discipline. It's about showing up even on those days when you'd rather do anything else. Or consider the person trying to save money for a major purchase. They need to be disciplined in their spending, making wise choices and resisting the lure of instant gratification. Discipline is also crucial in our relationships. It takes discipline to communicate effectively, to listen more than you speak, to show kindness even when you're upset. Indeed, discipline is like a silent engine that drives our actions towards our goals. It's the force that helps us do what needs to be done, no matter the circumstances. So, the next time you find yourself facing a daunting task, remember the marathon runner. Remember the power of discipline, the strength that comes from doing what needs to be done, day in, day out. Like a marathon runner, we can harness the power of discipline to do what needs to be done in our own lives. Remember a time you put off a task only to find it had grown into a mountain? Now let's journey back to a story we all know too well. It's the story of our friend. Let's call him John. John had a report due in 2 weeks. The task seemed manageable, a simple climb up a hill, but instead of starting right away, John decided to take a break. He told himself, "I've got plenty of time." Days turned to a week. The hill didn't seem so small anymore. In fact, it was starting to look like a pretty steep climb. John told himself, "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow came and went, and the report remained untouched. The second week rolled around and the hill had transformed into a mountain. Anxiety began to creep in. The task that once seemed so manageable was now a daunting climb. The weight of the task bore heavily on John, causing sleepless nights and a restless mind. This, my friends, is the weight of procrastination. It's a burden we place on ourselves when we delay our tasks. It's the creation of mountains out of molehills. Procrastination isn't just about delaying tasks. It's about delaying life. It's about missing opportunities, letting stress build up, and allowing our mental health to take a hit. It's about the constant nagging thought in the back of our minds that we should be doing something, but we're not. Productivity isn't just about getting things done, it's about lightness. It's about the relief that washes over us when we check off that task. It's about the peace of mind that comes with knowing we're on top of our game. So next time you're faced with a task, remember John. Remember the weight of procrastination. Remember how it turns hills into mountains, and then do what needs to be done. Take that first step. Start that task. Because every journey begins with a single step, and every task completed lightens the load. Procrastination adds unnecessary weight to our tasks. Doing what needs to be done lightens that load. Ever noticed how fear seems to grow the longer we avoid facing it? This is a universal truth, as timeless as the Stoic philosophy we're exploring today. Let's delve into a little story that paints this reality more vividly. Imagine a young man, let's call him Ethan. Ethan had always been afraid of heights, so much so that he'd avoid tall buildings, roller coasters, even ladders. His fear was so intense that it limited his experiences and held him back from fully embracing life. Then one day, Ethan was offered an opportunity to go skydiving. The very thought of jumping from a plane thousands of feet in the air was terrifying. However, he also recognized this as a chance to confront his fear, to do what needed to be done. He decided to take the leap, literally and metaphorically. As he stood at the edge of the open plane door, heart-pounding, fear threatened to overwhelm him. But he jumped, and in that moment of action, his fear didn't vanish, but it did lose its grip on him. He was doing what he had always avoided, and he was surviving. This is how action works against fear. Fear grows when we avoid it, feeding on our inaction. It becomes a barrier, an insurmountable wall that stands between us and the things we need to do. But when we take action, when we do what needs to be done, regardless of the fear, we chip away at this wall. We prove to ourselves that we are stronger than our fear, that we can survive what we're afraid of. And with each action, fear loses its power over us. Ethan's story is just one example. The fear you're facing might be different. It could be the fear of failure, of rejection, or of change, but the principle remains the same. Action dissipates fear. It's not about eliminating fear completely, but about learning to act despite it. Remember, fear is nothing more than an obstacle that stands in the way of progress. By moving forward, by doing what needs to be done, we can overcome it. Action dissipates fear. When we do what needs to be done, we reclaim our power over fear. Ever felt the satisfaction of ticking off a task on your to-do list? It's a feeling of accomplishment, a sense of victory over procrastination, a moment of triumph over fear. It's a small yet potent sensation that can fuel your motivation to do more, to act more, to accomplish more. This is the reward of action. Imagine you've been putting off cleaning the garage for weeks. It's a daunting task, one that you've made more intimidating with each passing day, but one morning, you decide to roll up your sleeves and dive in. You sort, you organize, you discard, hours pass, then finally you step back and look at the clean, orderly space you've created. You feel a wave of satisfaction wash over you. You've conquered the chaos. You've done what needed to be done. That satisfaction, that sense of accomplishment is more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a psychological reward that reinforces positive behavior. It's your brain's way of saying, "Good job, let's do this again." The reward of action is a powerful motivator. It's a self-sustaining cycle. You act, you accomplish, you feel satisfied. That satisfaction fuels your motivation to act again. And with each action, each accomplishment, you grow. You become more disciplined, more resilient, more capable. But the reward of action is not just about the tasks you complete. It's about the person you become in the process. Every time you overcome procrastination, every time you conquer fear, every time you do what needs to be done, you're not just ticking off a task on your to-do list. You're building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. In the end, the reward of action is more than just the joy of accomplishment. It's about the journey of personal growth. It's about discovering your potential, pushing your limits, and realizing that you're capable of far more than you thought possible. The reward of doing what needs to be done is not just the completion of the task, but the satisfaction and growth that comes with it.